Harvard students and faculty celebrate defiance of Trump's demands on the campus and beyond. Some hope that the universities will grow a spine and stand up to the administration. Harvard University is a defiance of the Trump administration man brought instant repercussions for the institution and the best of jubilation from some campus and in the broader education world. WHO claimed for an elite school to take a stand. If Harvard can't do it, then WHO can, said Michael Bronsky, a professor in the University Studies of Women, Gender and Sexuality program. It is always right to make the most moral decision, and do see what the outcome is. Harvard's lawyer sent a letter rejecting a list of demands the Trump administration has sent the school as part of an ongoing review of several universities over allegations of anti-Semitism. In a statement posted online, Harvard President Alan Garvey referred to the demands as an attempt to control the Harvard community and vowed to fight back. The university will not end its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights, wrote. The administration's sweeping demands would have required the university to restrict the acceptance of international students who are hostile to the American values and institutions and report to the Department of Homeland Security any foreign-born student who violates Harvard's code of conduct among the matches, while the Trump administration reacted with noise by freezing over $2 in grants and contracts to Harvard. The university's stance was widely applauded within the academic world after weeks of unprecedented government actions against higher education institutions. They clearly did not just the right thing, but a necessary thing, and my guess is that a lot of other institutions will follow suit, said John Van Smith, Senior Vice President of Government Relations at the American Council on Education, a higher education membership association. Harvard, founded a century before the United States, is by far the wealthiest university in the country and the most influential in the world. It boasts more alumni, WHO become its presidents, Supreme Court justices, members of Congress, living billionaires, and Nobel Prize winners than any other school. Maya Hasanoff, a history professor at Harvard, said the scope of the demands left the university with no choice but to reject them. It had the potential to interfere with every single aspect of everything that we do on campus. What is on, what is say, what is write about, what is think about practically. WHO is in my classroom. WHO are my colleagues, everything, Hasanoff said. The Trump administration has already cut off frozen funding to several Ivy League institutions and opened dozens of investigations into the colleges about how they dealt with anti-Semitism and pro-Palestinian protests over the past 2 years. Fellow academics have condemned higher education leaders for not speaking out more forcefully against the Trump administration's pressure on universities. Michael Roth, president of Wesleyan University and an outspoken critic of the Trump administration's directives to colleges, applauded Harvard's statement. Federal funding for universities must not depend on a loyalty of, Roth said in a statement. Hundreds of Harvard students and faculty and staff members demonstrated last weekend pleading with the university administration not to give in. Adding to an earlier open letter with a similar sentiment signed by 600 university educators, WHO expressed fear that the school would follow Columbia University's actions. Last month, Columbia agreed to some of the Trump administration's proposed reforms, which included banning masks at most protests, enlisting new campus security officers with the ability to aid students, and hiring a senior vice provost to oversee the Department of Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies. Late Monday, Columbia's interim president issued a statement noting Harvard's stand and said it would not consent to some of the government's overly prescriptive demands. Other prominent universities Brown, Cornell, Princeton, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Caltech also joined several state schools in a lawsuit Monday against trees and research funding cuts imposed by the Trump administration. Nico Perino, executive vice president of the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, a civil liberties watchdog group, so this week's development saw a significant change in tune. What Harvard does, as follow Perino said, I do think we ages some colleges and universities start to grow a spine in response advance to Harvard standing up. The school, like most research universities, relies on grants and funding from the federal government to complete multi-year scientific inquiries in a variety of fields. Harvard also accepts federal student loans and Pell Grants from students to pay for their schooling. All colleges that accept federal funding are bound to follow civil rights laws. Unfortunately, Harvard has not taken the president or the administration's demand seriously, Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, said at a briefing Tuesday. Leavitt added that President Donald Trump wants Harvard to apologize to its Jewish American students for allowing such egregious behavior. The Harvard Republican Club said in a statement that it hoped Harvard will return to the American principles that form the great men of this nation. Echoing Trump administration comments, the student group said it is not a constitutional right to any private university to receive federal funding in perpetuity. But several students welcomed Harvard's stand. Henry Palou, a freshman WHOS studying government and economics, called it a demonstration of leadership in the face of adversity. Presidential terms last 4 years, funding is temporary and policy changes, Palou said. But a legacy used as a university is forever. Some of the students WHO were happy with Harvard's actions challenged it to do even more. Matthew Tobin, as of more WHOS studying government and economics, said they want Harvard to take a greater stand against immigration crackdowns on foreign students. This is the first step and we are incredibly glad that Harvard made it. It was brave, Tobin said, but a lot of students are now looking towards what the university can do next and how they can continue to lead this fight.